Hello, my name is Roberto Rubio, and I'm here to introduce you to the Chiricahua Mountains. Now, these mountains, there's so many mountains around the world, but these are among the most unique in the world. The reason being is that different scientific bodies and lay people and whatnot, they've determined that this range of mountains has more species of plants and animals and insects than any other mountain range in the world, if not North America. And so that's there's another reason why I'm introducing you to that is because I grew up right by there, and some of the rarest animals that they've may or may have not have seen recently, I've seen them within a year when I go on hikes there and camping. But I'll give you a little history on the location of the Chiricahua Mountains. The Chiricahua Mountains are 60 miles east of Tucson. They run north and south along the New Mexico border. They run into Mexico and they run north into the backbones of the Rocky Mountains. And that's part and parcel why they're so unique. They just happen to be in the right geographical area in the world where they a lot of distinct ecological zones, you can say they overlap there, or they meet there, or they begin there. And I'll give you a little history on the Chiricahuas. The Chiricahuas, they were born about 27 million years ago. There were these great big templates under the earth. Some were oceanic and some were continental. And when they hit each other, they blew up and they caused a lot of molten lava, a lot of volcanic action. That started 27 years ago, and it continued for another 10 million years. These rock formations is what makes the Chiricahuas part. That's one of the reasons why they're so unique, is because as a result of all that real violent. These are real violent mountains that have a real violent past. That's why they have such unique rock formations. So they're 27 million years old. And because they're so alive and vibrant right now, that's why I chose them as a topic, because I'm real excited that people know about them, because they're representative of like what we as people, how we affect the earth at this point in time, how we're affecting the environment. And being that these are so unique and special, and they're only 60 miles from Tucson, I thought it'd be a good example as to show what's at stake right now. And then furthermore, to talk on the ecology that makes it unique is that, let's say there's the unique factors of the Rocky Mountains, then the Great Basin from Nevada, that's also a unique ecological area. Then the Chihuahuan Desert, that's different, that has different living characteristics than the Sonoran Desert, but in those two, the Sonoran Desert and the Chihuahuan Desert, they all meet there. Those are four main zones. And and then this is the second main factor as to why the Chiricahua Mountains are so unique. Their elevation goes from more or less 2,000 feet to 10,000 feet. And that big variance, it allows, there can be grizzly bears. The mountains allow for grizzly bears in the higher elevations or even the lower. And then at the same time, it's not uncommon to see a jaguar there without human intervention. Because when I grew up, there were people that had ranches bordering the forest. Their parents would report jaguar sightings quite often, So you can have jaguars, and so at one point in time, a grizzly bear could possibly cross paths with a jaguar. And you think about it, that a jaguar is a southern creature and a grizzly bear is a northern creature. That's
unheard of.
It really is. It's something beautiful. And then in technical terms, that what they're saying is from subalpine to subtropical. That's the range of animal possibilities along with plants. There's a doctor by the name of Dr. Wade Suregood, and he works at the Portal Research Station on the eastern side of the Chiricahuas. And he and a lot of people in the biological community, they're in agreement that the Chiricahuas have by far the most plant and animal diversity of any mountain range in the United States. So they're magical mountains. right here, well, I thought I'd have more impact by just showing a few pictures rather than 100. But just another information point is that one mountain alone in the Chiricahuas, 1/2 of all the species of birds live on that one mountain alone. And as for plant life, they have high altitude ponderosa pine in the higher reaches. They have Douglas fir, and then it goes down. As you lose elevation, you have more desert-like plants. You can have saguaros, you can have ocotillo, you have desert scrubland trees. And that in itself, let's see, there's something like 1,000 plant species that live in the Chiricahuas. It's amazing. And as for species of hummingbirds, there's 265 bird species. Half of the hummingbirds that live in the United States and Canada, half of them can be found in the Chiricahuas. And then as for mammalian species, 100 mammalian species live there. It's just real diverse. And then, so I'm gonna show you this creature here that's rare, but I chose him. Okay, this is the location of where we're here in Tucson. This dot here, this little yellow circle, those are the Chiricahuas. This is the Alpine region coming in here, the Rocky Mountains. This is the Chihuahuan ecological zone, the Sonoran, and the Nevadan Great Basin. And the Rocky Mountains come in like this, and then the Sierra Madre Mountains of Mexico, they're right here. And I've walked from south of the border straight through all the way to the northern end of the Chiricahua Mountains. There's no break in the mountains. It might have different names, but that shows that it's such a crucial link, that's where all these areas meet, and then the subtropical and tropical animals, that's their border. And that's why I chose those mountains to show how crucial, and to symbolize the part that we as people play in affecting the mountains and the survival of plants and animals. There's this animal here, this is the jaguarundi, and he so much is representative of the Chiricahuas now and how people do. He's a very rare creature. He's the more closely related to the mountain lion than any other animal. He's about 4.5 feet long from head to tail. He's a husky one. I've seen several of these different coats. I've usually seen them in the evening. And according to scientific literature, they hunt day and night. And they have 38 chromosomes versus 36 chromosomes. That differentiates the big cats from the small cats, and this one. So it's considered a big cat. Ones I've seen seem to be really healthy. But because of the people and animals and trees that have struggled to live there, let's say the Apaches and everything, because we're at such a crossroads right now with environmental concerns and conditions, how we affect, I chose him, that he's a marker of the health of the Chiricahua Mountains. And right now he's very rare. And like I said, they don't even acknowledge that he lives there. It's very rare to find literature that does agree that creature lives there. So I'm going to end with this of the jaguarundi, because it's a creature that's wild and savage, and yet it has a lot of commonality with us as people. It wants to find a mate, it wants to have offspring, it has to find food, it has to find shelter. And so I use this in ending this introduction to the Chiricahua so that we can maybe have an emotion or a feeling in our heart what goes on. They're such beautiful creatures that they need protection, and that's protecting the mountains in which they live so that they can survive and they have a right to live. And the Chiricahuas, as mountains, have a right to exist just as we all do. So with that, I thank you very much, and I'll open it to any questions you might have about these real distinguished mountains.
Is there any kind of monetary value to the mountains? Like, is there ore in there, or
there has been some there on the northeastern edge? Yeah. They're trying to open some mines up. One mine up, it's kind of quiet. As a kid, some of my neighbors, they were like old-time prospectors, and the father of one of my friends, he found a vein of gold there, but he'd go in with 3 mules, and he'd turn around and make sure no one saw him. So that was stayed a secret. Yeah, but there is, oh, and then another thing about that. Oh, this is the Jaguarundi here. That's when he just got out of church, and he's just gonna add him a bowl of warm milk, and he's for peace. This is him as the philosopher, and he's pondering what's going on in the world. And this is he's looking for supper. So, but I wanted to show you that they usually have pictures of tigers and they look so innocent, but this is a creature that has a right to live. And I like to face them and look at their eyes and see that these beautiful creatures, they're reflective of the health of the mountains. And I myself don't go back there as much as I used to. I don't camp out anymore because I know I leave a footprint. So I don't go back that much anymore. But that being said, I mean, look at how beautiful. I've seen some about that big. Some look like they were worked out in gyms. They were really
how close
husky.
you got to them, like within like 100 feet or something?
No, by accident, I was on the other side of a tree from one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then I purposely tracked it. See, it went one way, and I went the other way to play with it and trick it, and the trick worked. And I had a child's thought. I said, "Oh, I'll pick it up and pet it." And when I was on my hands and knees, and when it actually went where I thought it'd go, and I was like that, and I put my head out, and his head was that far from mine.
No kidding.
And it was, he looked at me and real peaceful. His expression wasn't wild, and there was no fear in it. It just looked at me, well, you're here, and so am I. And then we looked at each other for a while, and then he walked away. And it seemed, it was a good thing, but I can guarantee you, that thing of picking up a creature like that, I don't think that would have gone too far. I would have been a bloody victim, to put it lightly. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions on these mountains or the animals and plants?
Any actual rivers or ponds or anything like that?
There's creeks, and at one time, and there's a creek the Cave Creek on the northeastern side. They haven't found the end to where that cave. It's Cave Creek. It's the Cave Creek area of the Chiricahuas. Yeah, they have creeks, and during the rainy season, you better get across them before they fill up, or you have to stay another night. They're strong and tough.
So how many square miles are we talking?
They run 50 miles north and south, and it's about, I'd say about an average of 15 miles wide, so 8 times 15. It's a good chunk of land. And they are what they call the Sky Islands, because they're surrounded by desert. You can see them. Is when you're approaching them from any angle, they just go up into the sky.
Right.
In the summer, it's really nice because you see the mountains go up into the clouds during the rainy season. And just like that, this Jaguarundi also did it part in honor of the people that were indigenous there, the Apaches. They were more or less the last tribe to hold on to their land, and fighting the United States government. There's a lot of inspirations of freedom that I get from those mountains. They're real symbolic to me as to what real freedom is. And that's why I chose this animal to sit by, because he's not gonna go sing in the church choir tonight and ask us for a bowl of milk. He'll take care of himself, and that's freedom. I like that. Well, thank you all. I really appreciate you all coming to see this about the Chiricahuas, and I hope you all put your 2 cents in protecting them, like all good pieces of land.
Just showing something new. I never knew the mountains existed. I knew you heard of them before, so that was cool.
Thank you.